how that layer grew to be, most of the time you find that it's just normal individuals who've done the same exact process. Oh, this is a problem. How do we resolve that problem? Well, I can resolve it thusly. Well, let's publish that. That's just not a guy who's out to lie and, the demon that's perpetuating the heliocentric deception. No, it's just a normal Joe that's inadvertently smeared a layer of bullshit on top of a model that's bunk. But they don't know it, and that layer upon layer upon layer of nonsense described by you as the onion can be peeled back relatively easily. Back to an analogy from Wakey Wakey or Mark Knight, where he described the globe to me in an interview as being like a papier-mâché ball. From a distance, it seems really solid, but then you go and touch it, and your finger goes straight through. And if enough people are poking it, the holes become so severe that the thing falls to pieces. You can see the daylight straight through it. There's nothing inside. Like Mark Sargent describing looking for the evidence and finding tons of boxes, a room full of boxes with evidence written on every one of them in great big red letters. Evidence for the globe. You open each box, it's full of styrofoam packing paper, if we can get it out, and there's nothing at the bottom. It's just an empty box. You know what I mean? So these layers, these onion layers, are all the same analogy. It's just an empty layer that's a papier-mâché layer easily pulled away to reveal daylight on the other side.
Agree, but there's a caveat to that. I'm more like chocolate, or chocolate's more like me since I'm older. I don't know. It doesn't matter which order. When I was going through school and they said all this stuff, I fought it. I don't know why I fought it, but I fought it. I didn't believe it. I argued with them, and they said, look, I don't even believe it. Just answer it the way it's taught. I have to teach it this way. So I tucked it. I tucked it in somewhere. I don't know, because I didn't care anymore. Then, because I didn't go to college, I went right from high school into business. I didn't get more brainwashing, so to speak. And then when I first saw Flat Earth, it was like it woke up something that was tucked away. And I went to my wife and I said, oh my gosh. She goes, what? And I had this look in my face. I said, I have to approach this as if I don't have a bias towards it, because I've always known this. But now there's evidence, I believe. She goes, what are you talking about? And I go, the earth is flat. And her face was like, what? And I go, no, hang on. I have to approach this to prove the flat earther argument wrong, because I've always known it was right, but with no proof really. And now I think the proof is out there for some reason. And that's how I came into Flat Earth. It was this stupid article about Julian Assange and 40 pictures of Antarctica. And I'm saying, what has that got to do with WikiLeaks? And that started it. And then when I went to go prove it wrong, I said, I'm going to buy me a P900. I'm going to do that thing and see if that's actually what they say. So I went through this road, and I couldn't prove it wrong, but I always knew it was, the globe was wrong. I just didn't have proof other than just my own senses. And I was an anomaly, I guess, along the way. But, the years I never talked about it is because who am I going to talk to about it? Not like it's a subject in school, take this extra credit for flat earth arguments or anything. So I was a rebel all my life. And I think rebels get it quicker.
Do you have any proof now, 10th Man?
What's that?
Do you have any proof for flat earth now, 10th Man?
Yes, I do. Can I ask you a question?
I'd love to hear your proof of flat earth, please. Thank you.
Yeah, can I ask it to you in a question?
Yeah.
Is there any fixed values that apply to the real world? And I'm referencing, of course, based on the 3,959 mile radius. Is it an actual location? The geometric horizon? Does it actually exist? Or is it a thought experiment?
Yeah, it exists on the surface of the sphere of the Earth, just like longitude and latitude exist. They're real places, right?
Okay.
Longitude and latitude are real places.
This is a long line.
They're not.
They're just concepts, but let me continue with Brenda here. So just like you say they exist, which the X that marks the spot on the globe model at a 1 foot observer height, that geometric horizon must exist no more than
Yes.
1.23 miles. So
Yeah,
why
I
does it
understand.
not
I understand
exist if it's
I understand the argument, hon. I understand it.
Then answer the question.
I did. So in my city in Minneapolis here,
Not there.
in my city in Minneapolis here,
No.
I was going to give you an example.
No, stick to Minneapolis.
I don't need an example. He's giving you a question about the geometric horizon. You said, I understand, and I have answered. You haven't answered anything. He's asking you about the black swan. He's giving you a rendition of the argument. Now you're going back to what your childhood in Minnesota, like we care. Don't need an example. We need an answer for why we haven't got a geometric horizon that's 1.22 times the square root of the observer's height in feet. We already know the answer. We haven't got one. I went through it with you yesterday. We don't have a geometric horizon, according to your own side. So you haven't answered anything. We don't need to know about your childhood in Minnesota.
That's not true. We do have a geometric horizon, and everybody acknowledges that we do.
Okay, point it out in the black swan image.
You can't see it in the black swan image.
And we haven't got one.
That
You can't
doesn't-
see it means we haven't got one. No, excuse me. Hold on.
doesn't
We haven't
follow.
got one.
That doesn't
You can't
follow.
see it.
That doesn't follow.
It doesn't follow. We can't see we've actually got Brenda. Yeah, you
that
just
doesn't
said we
follow.
can't see it. So
Right.
Shut up. Shut up. If we can't see it, it is not there.
Can you see
Now,
the
the
air?
explanation
Can
we've
you see
had
the
as a
air,
result of
Nathan?
that-
Can you
Brenda,
see the air?
It's going to be a quick visit again where you cannot shut up while I'm talking. If it is not there, we cannot see it. Therefore, we can't draw a line to it. And according to you, the answer for that, the explanation for that on your side, is that all the lines to it are bent. It's refracted. So we can't draw a straight line to it for any mathematics of geometry. We can't derive an R value from a high mountain. We can't do anything in regards to the globe model because your defense to that question is that we cannot see a geometric horizon as declared. So we don't have one. It's not visible. It's game over globe geometry. No matter rumpusing and talking through this concise summary of the death of the heliocentric assertion that we have globe geometry based on a physical geometric Earth curve edge, formerly called the geometric horizon, won't change the death being slow for you. It's still the death. You don't have a geometric horizon. You've just admitted it.
No, I didn't admit it. You were affirming the consequent. That's
Now you're a
fallacy.
liar. You just
That's a
told us
fallacy.
you can't see it. I asked you to show it us. You said
I
you
can
can't see
explain
it. Therefore,
No.
it is not there. It is not visible. We haven't got one. Your justification for that, when we get you to tie rather than lie to that actual argument that we haven't got one, as declared by you, is to explain that it's actually refracted. Therefore, no straight lines, no geometry. Don't lie.
You're
That's
affirming
what you
the
just said. We
consequent.
can't see it.
No,
Therefore,
you're
not there.
affirming the consequent. That's affirming the consequent. That's fallacious. You said correctly that if something doesn't exist,
Hold on.
you said correctly that if something doesn't exist, we can't see it, and then you concluded if we can't see it, it doesn't exist. That's affirming the consequent, and that's fallacious.
If you can't see it, then what is there to measure physically? Geometric measurements are going to be made to physical tangent points. That's what geometry is. Do you not understand what geometry is? Measuring physicality.
Yeah,
At
I
a tangent
understand.
point where it touches the physical surface. Shut up! Why are you talking through me? Yeah, it would be about physicality if you're doing geometry. So what are you babbling about, saying that we can do physical geometry if we cannot see it? If we cannot see it, we can't draw a line to it physically. So
That's
you're
a
talking
fallacy.
complete nonsense. Now you're interrupting me. Well, shock. Interrupt me one more time, Brenda. I'm going to remove you from the conversation. Because you've talked through me, I'll summarise my point again. I'll see how much she tolerates it. If you can't see it, then you can't perform the physical geometry required. That would be drawing a straight line to the point you claim is curved, called a tangent. That's a physical point. And if we can't see it, we can't do geometry. Ergo, bye-bye geometry. Asserting that it is still there and we'll just pretend to draw to it, is to assert that you'll only be doing these mathematics in your reified model. Because it's not there, we can't see it. So you do your maths to something that's not there on your model that doesn't exist with a horizon that isn't the horizon we see. We'll point out that you're doing geometry based on something non-physical that you can't see. Okay, love?
So that's affirming the consequent. Just because if something isn't there, you can't see it. That's correct. But then affirming the consequent would be saying, I can't see it, therefore it isn't there. That's fallacious. That your entire argument is based on a logical fallacy.
Thank you. Yeah, I heard. If P, then Q. Q, therefore P, is affirming the consequent.
Yeah. If something doesn't exist, you can't see it.
Brenda. So what is P? What is Q? And why does one not follow the other? Go.
P is if something does not exist. Q, you cannot see it. There you go.
So if something does not exist, you cannot see it. That would
Correct.
be
If something does not exist,
then
you cannot see it. Your formulation is, I can't see it, therefore it does not exist, is fallacious. It's affirming the consequent.
Not fallacious when you qualify it with the terms that are mandated by the mathematics you're using. Geometry is describing physicality, and you can't measure something physically if you can't see it. So no, it's not fallacious. It's logically sound, because it does indeed follow that if you cannot see a geometric physical location, then you cannot measure it. That's absolutely sound. Unless you're going to tell me that you can measure something that you can't see, how are you going to measure it? You can't see it.
You can calculate these measurements.
Oh,
just
calculate?
The way,
No. Not calculate. Measure.
Calculation is measurement.
Oh, really? So we're going to measure to this physical location called the geometric horizon that we can't see, are we? We're going to measure to that point that we can't see, are we? No, we're not, Brenda.
I can measure.
Excuse me, it was rhetorical. No, I'm just going to point out for the bonehead. We're definitely not going to be able to measure something we can't see. We can't see it. That's not logically fallacious. That's perfectly sound.
No, you can calculate it.
And I'm talking about measuring it physically, running a tape measure to a point.
Those are the
supposed
same
to be
thing.
physical and geometric and capable of measurement. And you're going to extrapolate and calculate based on something you can't see, because you've decided it's fallacious to say we can do a physical measurement to something we can't physically see. That's not fallacious. Perfectly sound to say if I can't see it, I can't measure it. That's not unreasonable, not fallacious, and your assertion that I'm going to calculate something that I can't see is absolutely unreasonable.
Are you saying we can't see the apparent horizon, Nathan?
The geometric horizon we can't see, and that's the one in your model. We've only got one horizon.
Are you acknowledging that there are
and
two different
the
horizons?
horizon in your model is marked with an X, labelled with the word horizon, and geometric. It can't not be. It's a geometric model. But according to you, on this very discussion, we can't see it. So we can't see the singular one on its own, alone. Horizon marked with an X, labelled horizon in your model and geometric. We can't see that, according to you. The apparent, by definition, all horizons are at the apparent position where the sky appears to meet the ground. Redundant terminology, because it's an apparent position where the sky appears to meet the ground. So not an apparent position where the sky appears to meet the ground, apparently. That's all redundant. A horizon is a horizon. We've only got one. Yours is geometric. And according to you, we can't see it, so we can't measure it.
In the Al-Brunei method, you measure the dip from eye level down to the horizon.
And he'd be measuring a non-geometric, non-physical location. So who gives a shit what he was measuring? It wasn't a physical location. It certainly wasn't the geometric horizon. That would be impossible. So his measurements are meaningless. The higher he went, the more layers of the thinning out atmosphere he'd be looking through as well. So he'd have increased effects of the refraction you all use as a defense and simultaneously buries your model. Because you're going to be needing straight lines to that physical geometric location he assumes when he makes this measurement. Number one, he's looking through different layers of atmosphere high up on a mountain, therefore lots of refraction, therefore no straight line. And two, we can't see a geometric horizon ever. It's impossible. So he's not measuring a straight line to a physical point that he can't see. He hasn't got the point to see, and he hasn't got a straight line to it. So Al-Biruni is debunked.
Are you admitting that the horizon does not rise to eye level, Nathan?
I don't give a crap about what the horizon does. I don't make an argument about it being a physical geometric obstruction of boats, buildings, and curving at altitude into a sphere shape when you visit the second law of thermodynamics violation known as the sky vacuum or outer space to you fundy morons. I don't make any claims about this nonsense. This is your claim. So accept the fact that you've got a claim. I haven't.
Well, I think you just admitted that the horizon doesn't rise to eye level. I think you just did that just now. Nathan Oakley admits that the horizon does not rise to eye level. Welcome to Globe Earth.
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate Uncut, no, live. I'm your host, Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. I'd like to support the channel. There is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they are live. There's also a PayPal, Patreon, and crypto link in the info box below the video. Most importantly, if you'd like to join the discussion, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the nature of Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected. And if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcome back on the next stream. Please also share the show on social media. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel. So please share the show on Facebook and Twitter. And one last time, if you're new to the channel or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. Now, we are joined by Righteous Force, the Adam Meakin, and 10th Man, together with a whole bunch of people in Discord. So welcome one and all.
Good morning.
Afternoon, everyone.
I wanted to thank Nathan for admitting that the horizon does not rise to eye level. Thank you for that admission.
Good afternoon,
and
everybody.
welcome
I
to Global
make
Earth.
that claim. I don't make that claim.
Yes,
I
you
didn't
did.
deny that
Yes,
claim.
You did. Yes, you did.
And
No, I didn't.
no, he
You're a
didn't.
liar. So you don't have Earth
Yeah,
curve geometry. So let's just round out what I summarised with Brenda then. So with the discussion before the show started, we summarised with Brenda how she doesn't have a geometric horizon. According to her, we don't see it. And we don't have any straight lines for geometry to be done because everything's refracted. So we don't have any Earth curve geometry to assert with the Earth curve geometric calculator that's been used to compare to pictures for the last 4 years on this show. So we don't have any of that nonsense that's been asserted here. According to Brenda, we don't see a geometric horizon, towing the line with every other fundy that comes here. If we don't have a geometric horizon, the thing marked with an X and labelled horizon in their geometric model, then their model isn't what we see. So it's bye-bye globe model. Brenda admits it like the rest of them. She doesn't have a geometric horizon. We can't see it. She seemed to think, as a defence, that I'd affirm the consequent by saying, if we can't see something, it's not there, therefore it doesn't exist. That was her argument. And I said, no, geometry is about measuring to something physically. And if we can't see it, we can't measure to it. So no, it doesn't undo the fact that your geometry's done with this argument of the Black Swan, Brenda. So you did very badly, but you think you got to win because what? I didn't argue with you about the horizon rising to eye level? I don't think I've ever even voiced that argument, ever. I haven't denied it either, before you start twisting my words. But while we're on the subject, is there any evidence of a physical geometric Earth curve edge, formerly known as the geometric horizon, marked with an X labelled horizon in the now debunked geometric model? Anybody at all?
Yes, of course there is.
No.
Copious amounts.
What's the evidence of a physical geometric Earth curve edge, formerly known as the geometric horizon, marked with an X labelled horizon, and denied in the pre-show as ever being able to be seen?
photographs from space.
By you.
And photographs from space and ships going over the horizon.
Sorry, ships going over typical Earth curve edge obstruction that you said we can't see in the pre-show. No, that's debunked immediately by your own words only 10 minutes ago. Space, outer space, what? The thing that's currently being stated would have to suck out all the atmosphere if we were to see the geometric horizon. No, space is fake. That's a second law of thermodynamics violation.
No.
If the sky was a vacuum, the gas we're all breathing would expand and fill that space. Entropy debunks outer space, Brenda. Given that there's no such place as outer space, you definitely haven't got any pictures from a second law of thermodynamics violation known as outer space, because that place isn't real. So you definitely haven't got pictures from there.
We do, though. They do exist, and it doesn't
You
violate.
don't.
It doesn't violate. It doesn't violate the second
from
law.
a place that is not real. Outer space is fake. You can't have gas pressure without a container. We have gas pressure here. We're breathing it. And according to your religion of a sky vacuum, the gas pressure's not contained. You got little ships flying out to Mars and the moon. So no, according to the religion of sphericity, you've got a sky vacuum above gas pressure, violating a natural law.
There's no
Ergo,
violation.
that place isn't real. We haven't got a sky vacuum called outer space. If we did, we wouldn't be breathing, because natural law dictates that gas expands to fill the available volume. And an available volume in your religion of a sphere would be that space called space. A vacuum, according to your religion. The gas is going to want to fill that if that was true.
No, it doesn't.
We've still got gas, therefore sky's definitely not a vacuum. We definitely not going to have any pictures taken from there.
We do have pictures, though. And it is a vacuum, and the air doesn't escape there. All those things are true.
That's just a declaration of your
those are
belief that you can
facts.
have a natural law violation in the form of a sky vacuum. Gas law doesn't bend it whim to your ideas about the sky being a vacuum. It isn't. If it was, the gas would fill the space. It's called entropy.
Except it's still there. It's still a vacuum, and we can go there and take pictures from
sky
it.
vacuum
And the
still
air
there.
doesn't. And the
Yeah,
air
no,
doesn't
you still
escape to
believe
it.
Sky vacuum. Natural law says otherwise.
But it doesn't care. The universe doesn't care. It still is the fact
natural
that
law
there's a
doesn't care
vacuum
about your
and the
sky
air
vacuum.
doesn't escape.
Natural law is very well established. Gas will fill the space if it has space to fill. Gas expands in all directions. That is the nature of gas.
Except
The
it
nature of a
doesn't.
vacuum is that it's a space for the gas to fill.
But
So
it
it's going to
doesn't do
fill
that.
it if it can, and there's nothing stopping it filling it. According to your religion of a sphere Earth in a vacuum, you've got little ships traveling through the vacuum because they've left the gas we're breathing without any restriction. No container, violating natural law. Space is fake. No pictures will have been taken from a place that isn't real.
Then why doesn't the gas escape into space? Since we have pictures from
What?
space, why doesn't it?
Isn't
Why
real.
doesn't it?
Therefore, we don't have the sky vacuum. The
But we
fact that
do
you're
have
asking me
pictures.
why gas doesn't expand into a vacuum is to ask me why we can have a violation of the second law of thermodynamics. We can't have a violation of the second law of thermodynamics. If the sky was a vacuum, the gas would fill the space.
But it doesn't. Why doesn't it?
Therefore, space is fake. Therefore, no sky vacuum. The fact that we're still breathing means the sky isn't a space for the gas to fill. Space is fake.
But there is a vacuum, and the
think we
air
got a
doesn't
weapon.
escape to it. There is a vacuum, and the air
No,
does
that's
not escape to it.
natural law. It's declaring that what she's just described, ladies and gentlemen, is a violation of the second law of thermodynamics. No, we do have a vacuum, and no, the gas isn't expanding to fill it. That's a violation of natural law. I also appreciate that's the very basis of a religious belief in space. It doesn't mean space is real. It violates natural law. If the sky was a vacuum, the gas we breathe would fill the space.
But there is a space, so why doesn't it do that? You
Listen,
say it
I
has
mean,
to,
your
but why
religion.
doesn't it?
You're
Why
saying that
doesn't
there
it,
is
though?
doesn't mean there is. You're not attacking my rebuttal. That would be the natural law violation your religion's based on. It's not a rebuttal to say, yeah, there is.
But it's true. There is a vacuum, and we've been there, and
not
the air
a rebuttal.
doesn't escape to it.
True isn't a rebuttal. Showing me a violation of natural law and undoing the second law of thermodynamics, demonstrating that you can have a gas without a container. That's how you show it's true. Show me gas not expanding to fill a vacuum. Show it me.
Yeah, that's the Earth.
Without
the air,
pointing at
the air doesn't escape.
and saying, there's my religion, proving my religion.
Yeah,
without
the air
pointing at your
doesn't escape into
fundamentalist
space.
religious belief that the sky is a vacuum. Show me gas pressure without a container.
The Earth, the air does not escape into space. It's violating the second law.
How fucking stupid is she? That's your religious belief. I'm asking
No,
you to prove your religious belief, not just declare that your religious belief makes your religious belief true. That's circular reasoning.
No, it's not. We've been there. People have been there. There's no atmosphere. So why doesn't the air escape?
You will prove that you can have gas pressure without a container. The Earth is gas pressure without a container.
Yes.
That's circular reasoning.
Yes. No. It's a
Yes, I know.
It's a pure refutation of your claim.
If your outcome is the sky is a vacuum, you need to actually prove it, not just assume it as a proof of it. For God's sake.
People have been there. They turned around and they took photographs, and there's no air there. There's no air.
Oh, right. That's not a defense either. That's not a demonstration that attacks my actual argument. That's an appeal to consensus fallacy. I have got an argument. If the sky was a vacuum, the gas would fill the space. I've got a support cowbell. That would be the second law of thermodynamics, the entropy law. Now, you're not attacking that. You're going to a consensus opinion that the TV says men have visited a sky vacuum. No, they have not, because if they visited a sky vacuum, then the gas we breathe would fill the space. This is a straw man, red herring, obfuscation that appeals to consensus.
Except they went there, and there was a vacuum, and the air from Earth doesn't escape to it.
No, they didn't go there. There is a sky vacuum. And
but
that
they
is
did go
by
there.
natural law. If the sky was a vacuum where they have gone, according to you, the gas we breathe would fill the space. Stop appealing to consensus. Just because the telly said that they went there doesn't mean they did, because it's a violation of natural law. But they went. Well, last chance. Stop interrupting me.
Oh, that's at a break? Okay, so they did go there. There is a vacuum, and the Earth's atmosphere does not escape into it. So that refutes your claims.
It's just your declaration of your fundamentalist religious belief that the sky is a vacuum, proven only by your declaration that the sky is a vacuum and that men you are not have been there. So they, being these men, have been to somewhere that is disproven by natural law. Now, they are liars. For example, M. Scott Beach's father. A liar who has told you an overt lie. He cannot possibly have visited a sky vacuum. If the sky was a vacuum, the gas we breathe would fill the space. That is proven, my cowbell, by natural law, the second law of thermodynamics, and gas law. So unless you've got anything to actually challenge gas law beyond the words of liars like M. Scott Beach's father, I'm not interested in your consensus view. I've got natural law.
No, you don't. Because we went there.
Yes, I
and
do.
That's natural law.
Second law of thermodynamics is natural law. Gas law. These are natural laws. They are not the opinion of a man who lies.
But except he went there. Those people went there, and it's a vacuum. And it is a vacuum. And the air doesn't escape into it.
You did not go there. There, it's been debunked by natural law. I've debunked it. You just refuse to attack my rebuttal.
No, they went there, and it's a vacuum, and the atmosphere doesn't escape into it.
Violation. There is a sky vacuum. Not possible by way of natural law.
Well,
I'm going to kick you out.
Possible.
Don't attack my rebuttal. I'm sick of straw men.
You say it's what's more likely? Either you don't know what the fuck you're talking about, or the natural law was violated.